Hi guys, and welcome back to another video. So yeah, in this video I'm going to be talking about 5 movies that I watched in the month of September 2022 for the first time. So yeah, the 5 movies I've picked are all first time watches for me. And yeah, I thought I'd just, give these movies a little bit more light, as these are probably movies that don't really get talked about a hell of a lot. And yeah, these were all movies I managed to pick up on DVD. And yeah, I just had a really good time with them. These were probably the 5 standouts for me. So yeah, the first movie I watched for the first time this month was a movie by Michael Mann from 1983, and I know my good friend Mike over at Cinema X-Man really has given this movie some praise. And we've got The Keep. Yeah, I had a good time with this. I know the history and the production behind this movie was just riddled with problems, and the DVD was actually quite hard to get a hold of. I managed to find one on eBay, I think for a decent price, and yeah, I have to say the opening to this movie didn't really blow me away, but the second and third act really sort of kicked in, and I just thought this was a great sci-fi horror movie. In that second half, the way it sort of the movie progressed. The first half didn't really win me over, but the movie for me got better as it went along. You're really surprised to see Ian McKellen in this as well. But yeah, I overall had a good time with it. I recommend it. It's not perfect, it certainly isn't. You can tell that there are some issues with the movie, but overall, I was pleasantly surprised. This was a sort of 6, 7 out of 10 for me, but I did have a good time with it nonetheless. So yeah, that is The Keep. Next movie I watched for the first time was a movie from 2006. This movie for me was a culmination of quite a few movies, shall we say. So the movie I watched was Wilderness with Sean Pertwee. Um, I'm not a big fan of the movie Dog Soldiers. I think it's a good movie, but it's not one that blew me away. I think it was a little bit overhyped for me. I still do like it for what it is, but it's not one of my favorites. It's not one of my go tos. I did prefer this over Dog Soldiers, if I'm honest. This sort of felt like a mixture of Dog Soldiers and slightly peppered with other movies like Eden Lake. I certainly got vibes from that in this movie. And possibly, I know this is really high praise, but I felt this had sort of grated into it a little bit of Predator as well. Um, but yeah, I had just such a fantastic time with this movie. And like I said, I do prefer this one over Dog Soldiers, even though it is kind of unfair to compare the two. I think just because they've both got Sean Pertwee in. Toby Kebbell was great in this movie as well. I absolutely love him from Dawn of the Planet of the Apes and Dead Man's Shoes. The guy just does some fantastic work. But yeah, this was just such a great surprise, and I had a wonderful time with it. Very brutal movie, but yeah, had really good time with Wilderness. Just thought it was fantastic. So yeah, the next movie I watched was again another movie I've heard is quite brutal with its realistic depiction. So the movie I watched for the first time this month was Kids. Yeah, the one word I'd use to describe this movie is raw. It's very grounded, this movie, in reality for me. Very sort of hard hitting with particularly the opening scene in this movie. It's very sort of gritty and uncomfortable. Um, but I have to commend the movie for the way it looks and the way it's made. This is certainly a movie that doesn't sugarcoat things. But yeah, I just had a great time with the movie. This is a movie that I appreciate. I think rather than it's one I'd go back to a lot. I just appreciate the craftsmanship that's gone into it. But yeah, it's a good movie, but I don't think it's going to be for everyone. But yeah, I certainly appreciate it, and appreciate all the hard work that went into this film, because it's very gritty and uncomfortable at times. But yeah, I still think it's a really solid made movie. So yeah, that is Kids. The next movie I picked up was one I was really sort of intrigued by the cast. I'm a big Christina Ricci fan, and yeah, this was one I hadn't seen before, so I picked up a movie called Desert Blue. Again, I was really more intrigued with the cast in this movie. This movie has so many people in it: Kate Hudson, John Hurd, Christina Ricci, Casey Affleck. It sort of follows this small town. I don't want to say gang of rebels, but these kids who end up being confined to where they live because there's a contamination warning. So everyone's sort of in quarantine and can't leave. And it's sort of led. That's sort of that helm of it is led by Michael Ironside, who plays this FBI agent. I mean, anything he's in, I'm sold with because he's just such a great actor. And yeah, it was just the cast that really blew me away. The movie isn't the best thing ever, it really isn't, but I was just really pleasantly surprised by it, and I had such a great time with it. And yeah, it was just a lot of fun. Really dug this movie. And yeah, just that's really the movie in a nutshell, really. I won't spoil the ending, but yeah, it was a lot of fun, and I just really enjoyed it for what it was. So yeah, that is Desert Blue. The next movie I picked up was one I'd only heard about recently through other YouTubers, and this one came up, so I managed to hunt it down. And this is again another movie with a fantastic cast. It's sort of like a mid-90s action movie with Ice-T and Rutger Hauer. So I picked up Surviving the Game, and this was a real treat, shall we say. Really good fun. Movies like Trespass with Ice-T I really enjoy, and this one sort of falls into the same bracket as that. Again, the cast in this movie was just unbelievable. You got Ice-T, Rutger Hauer, Gary Busey, John C. McGinley, and F. Murray Abraham in this movie. And yeah, it just sort of follows this homeless guy played by Ice-T, and he ends up, being offered this job, and it turns out to be more than he thought it would, where he just ends up fighting for his life by these sort of like professional hunters, shall we say. And yeah, it's just a lot of fun. Gary Busey hams it up as he always does. He's just such a entertaining actor to watch. Everything's in. He was in another movie I watched for the first time this month called I think it was Drop Zone with Wesley Snipes, and he was the villain in that movie. And he's just a lot of fun. Gary Busey, he really is. Everything he's in, he's just cranks the entertainment value up to 100%. And this was no exception either. He had this wonderful sort of piece of dialogue in the movie, which I thought was very entertaining. And, Rutger Hauer, may he rest in peace, he was a superb actor as well. Yeah, just a really good solid action movie from the 90s. So yeah, that is Surviving the Game. And yeah, those are my sort of 5 movies that really stood out to me that I watched for the first time in the month of September. So yeah, I'm going to leave the video there, guys, and say thanks very much for watching. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.